when we started the team, we always wanted to have a team because going solo, when you have more than 1, 2, 3 buyers, it was always a problem. And our weekends got full like instantly, and you're running around doing 10 showings and you're hoping that it could all fit in, and you're always turning down somebody. Having the team to bounce off of, to have other people actually help you with showings was one of the big things, because we used to all do buyers, right? What has that helped for you guys, like having the team to be able to kind of just have people to support you when needed?
When did the team start, by the way?
So it was weird. I had my team who were like, because it's like you get sponsored in Exit, right? So I sponsored like my friends or my people that came to me, and then Ron sponsored his friends and people that came to him.
Okay.
But then Ron and I did deals together. Like, so we kind of like had our thing together, but then we also had like our own separate people.
Okay.
Because like Exit really didn't have like a team structure. It was kind of
model of
like
it.
the model was like, okay, you're sponsored by these people, so you go to this person if you need help, and then just Ron and I did our own thing
Did
together.
anybody even have a team at that time over there? Well, there were small teams, but like...
Well, I feel like people had what they thought was a team, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like qualified as a team or wasn't
Yeah.
structured as a
Just people
team.
under them. That was
Yeah.
my downline.
It was just
It was a group of friends.
it was literally a group
Yeah.
of friends.
Just
and
selling real estate.
that's literally still to this day, not that we're getting sidetracked, but like still to this day, so many people, regardless here or other companies, like they say like they have a team, but they really don't have a team. Like they have no idea. Just because you have a group of realtors that are all a team doesn't necessarily mean like you have a team.
That you're
Like,
working as
what do
a
you
team.
have that like
Structured as a team.
structured as a team?
Yeah.
You know, are you providing leads? Are you is everybody helping with buyers or listings? Are you giving them social media stuff that we're doing today? Like there's so many different things that go into the team aspect that so many people have no idea, and they just say, oh yeah, we have a team, but they have, it's not really a
interpreted
team.
very different.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
Very
I
different.
think of it
agencies, different teams.
as also
Yeah.
being a member of the team. It's also kind of like, where do you stand? Are you leading this one? Are you taking a back seat to this deal? Like, so being a member of the team, where is the hierarchy? Like, what are they providing for you? Is it money? Is it trainings? It's kind of, where do you stand as a team member? Are you number 2? Is there an actual ranking of team? It's kind of, I think that helps as well. Where again, if you have a bunch of friends just doing deals, it's like, well, do I share this deal with this guy or do
The
I do
lines get a little blurred.
So so it's good to kind of have structure so you know where things fall. So when you get a check at the end of the day, you know where the money's coming from.
Also, when it comes to like recruitment, when we've all probably had people reach out to us. Oh, we got a large team at X brokerage. What are you guys offering that maybe another team is not offering or so? And you hear kind of the different breakdowns of what people are given and
And it's
how
more
large
official,
they are. And
as opposed to being like, well, our team is just a bunch of dudes doing real estate. No, like we have, Ron and Josh who kind of lead us all, and they give us certain things, A, B, C, and D, which you could then project to other people, which will make it more intriguing to come on to us and maybe more interested, as opposed to just explain to me what your team is like. Well, you don't really know. But again, with what Josh and Ron have come together, we actually know where everyone stands, where everyone comes in, and again, we have a lot
like
of
you said, the
structure.
structure
Yeah.
is a hierarchy, you said.
Yeah, it's also just like the learning aspect. Like you don't know, and unfortunately, you take the test, right? You learn nothing about what you're gonna do
Radon.
to physically sell sell a house. No paperwork, nothing. Like, what do you learn from the actual exam that you're going to use on a day-to-day basis?
Irrelevant math that I hated.
You know how many
Well, the math you do
how many
use.
square feet are in like an
Yeah.
acre?
46.
Yeah.
46,000 and change?
250, 46 something.
So
I know that.
you literally learn nothing, right? You pass your test, and then they say, okay, go find a brokerage. You don't know what you're looking for. So like, if you didn't know anybody in the industry, right? Say you didn't know me, Chelsea, you're brand new, right? You didn't know anybody. You pass your test. What do? Like, you just walk into a brokerage and you say, yeah, I'm a new agent, and they pitch you on whatever they try to pitch, and every brokerage has nothing to offer anymore. And they're just trying to bring in as many agents as possible, in my opinion. They don't offer anything that the agents really need to succeed in this day and age. But they pitch you their stuff, and then what do? You just either take their word for it, or you
Yeah, you have nothing to
go somewhere else
compare
and
it to.
say if someone else sounds a little bit better. Or you say, oh, what's your split? And if you go with maybe the person that's going to give you the best one, so okay, I'll make the most money, but if you don't do a deal.
10% more. But
Yeah.
what I'm lacking is
Right.
everything that I'm going to learn along the way.
Exactly. So like, if you didn't know me, you would have just had
It would
to
have just been a guessing
a guessing game, right?
Cold
And then-
calling to find a broker.
Or like, what do you shop brokerages? Would you
Yeah.
like go in and then who do you speak to? Are you speaking to the right
Yeah.
person? Yeah, I mean, you can do like that, but that's also time consuming. So, and then you don't know what to compare it to either.
Exactly,
in a
yeah.
sense.
Because you don't know what's important. You don't know like, oh, how important is having leads, or how important is it having a mentor just to be able to show me the process.
And
you know?
that's been huge for me as a new agent, having people that I can go to ask the silly questions the small questions, anything that I need to. It's been huge for sure.
And it also just gets your feet wet. You've been doing like open houses every weekend, right? And so you're just getting your feet wet. You're getting more and comfortable speaking just terminology of real estate. You're finding out what important questions people are asking. They want to know roofs, boilers. They
What's
want to
under
know
the carpet, like
under the
these
carpet,
little things that
all
you
the little
learn.
things that you wouldn't think about, right? Now you're learning what people want to know.
And you're only going to learn it when you get out there and get your feet on the ground, see it in person. Like you said, sitting in front of a computer, learning how many square feet in an acre isn't going to.
That's like with anything, any job. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, you're going to study, you're going to do this," and you don't learn it. You learn it when you're physically doing the task. Everybody's so big into, train me how to do this paperwork. I'm going to show you how to do this paperwork, and you're going to have no idea what it is when it comes time to actually do the paperwork. So let's not learn the paperwork now. Like, learn it when we need to do it, and you have to fill it out. And it goes the same thing with doing a showing, doing, anything real estate
Hearing
related.
how, for an open house like for you, hearing how buyers agents are walking in and they're walking a client through the house and hearing the things that they're saying, hearing the questions that buyers are asking them, which you go, oh wow, if I bring a buyer, if they ask this question, this is something maybe I prepped beforehand or so. So I think definitely in the beginning, shadowing, working open houses, shadowing maybe an experienced agent on the team, if they're going out for a couple of days to shadow the buyer. So also scheduling appointments, calling a brokerage, how to use a Sentry lock. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that come in, especially when you're just starting, that you don't even think about.
Yeah. So what have you seen? Because you've been in just coming up on 2 years, right?
2 years in August, yeah.
So from where you started to now, like, obviously you've learned a shit ton. You are now comfortable, like, where you could do it on your own and you really don't need as much guidance. You may have a question here and there, but like, you're pretty much self-sufficient at this point, right? What have you seen to be like the most beneficial thing from joining with somebody that you knew and having like the team to be able to help you now? Because you're busy enough where sometimes you need help with inspections or showings or vice versa. Like, what is the difference between being yourself and being yourself but with the team?
I think you're going to grow exponentially a lot quicker as coming on with a team as opposed to a single agent too. And then again, it's just that question factor. It's just when you have things that you're learning everything, you can go to anybody on the team and they can kind of walk you through the process. If you're coming in as a single agent, maybe you feel a little bit uncomfortable going to the broker or going to just some random person in the office, like you're being bothersome. So I think growing, I know I learned so much my first 6 months of this industry just by doing everything, being out there, asking a lot of questions than maybe I would if I just chose some random brokerage and kind of came in and went on the fly like that.
Yeah.
That's definitely
the first
helpful.
6
Like
months.
Josh being so personable and friendly, and like I think
I wanna
for
know
us
about-
at least having well,
She's new.
It's perfect for the camera.
That's the good leads.
no, for us having that personal relationship with him, it definitely adds to the relationship professionally, that it makes us feel comfortable and it makes it easy for us to go to him with anything that we need, and we have that relationship, and it's just awesome.
I think it's actually, for someone like yourself, you had the opportunity to go to these open houses. Now, if you're by yourself, where you're going to ask around to go to somebody's open house and you don't know them, so they may not even show you. You might go to this open house and they might not even explain to you what they're doing. But somebody, you have the opportunity that we do have open houses. So if you're maybe slow one weekend, one of us has an open house, you go to it. As opposed to being yourself, you might be like, crap, I'm not doing anything all
I have
weekend.
nothing to do.
It's nothing to do.
Because now you're learning and potentially picking up some new buyers. And in this market, buyers, when you're in the middle and beginning, you get a lot more buyers than you do listings. But if you could, the hard part is finding the buyers. Once you use all your friends and family up, like, you got to go find new ones. So like doing open houses is a great way to pick up clients. And we were just talking about this before outside. It's like the market's shifting a lot, and we've seen it doing open houses. You're not getting 40 offers; we're getting 10. Instead of maybe 25 showings every single 25 minutes. Now we're getting maybe 20 for the whole 2 hours, 3 hours that we're there. So like the market's shifting a lot, and that means there's less buyers that are going to be buying, less sellers that are going to be selling, and that means less deals that we're all doing. For the agents that are on top of their stuff now, when the market continues to shift over the next couple of years, you have to adapt, and the people that don't, like, you're going to not have your license anymore.
Yeah.
It's just you're never going to be doing business.
But as kind of an experienced agent, I actually like newer agents to come on as well, because it's like a refresher for me as well, where I can kind of project my knowledge too, and I go, oh man, I do know something. So, and
Yeah.
also I like me personally, I like to help other people if they're going to put in the work.
Put in the work.
Put in the work. I've done it where I try to, I reach out on a limb for newer people and they don't want to put in the work. So then honestly, we're done. You don't want to, accept it. So then you're done. But people who are accepting of it, I appreciate that because I was there too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have much help, but I appreciate those that will put in the work and do it because I know this person, I could trust this person to, help in certain ways and that they're going to be good in this industry as opposed to knowing the ones that are not. And you don't spend as much time on them kind of thing. So
the people that want to make it, especially in real estate, you have to go get it. You're not going to have a salary. You're not getting a paycheck, but everybody sees the $1 million listings, the big paychecks, and they want to run and get their license.
They think it's easy money.
Then they turn on the switch after they get their license, and it's like, where's the deals? It actually takes a lot of work, and you kill.
And no one's watching you. You're your own
right?
boss. Could be your best, your best friend or your worst enemy. If you're your own boss and you're waking up at, the crack of noon and not making any calls, not doing anything, not refreshing yourself, no trainings, reading books, something as simple as that, then you're probably not going to make it. So,
and that's one thing Steve is big on. You always say, "Oh, you got to listen to this podcast." So you got to listen. You don't listen to the radio anymore. You're driving for a half hour to appointments, or you have appointments for the whole day. Oh, I'll throw on this podcast, and I'll in and out as I get out of the car. But if you pick up one thing that maybe helps you negotiate better or helps you just learn about something about the market, you're always sending me stuff, and I wish I listened to more of them because I don't. But I feel like that's so valuable.
But that's what, again, you're kind of getting from a team, that you wouldn't really do that,
Yeah.
but Steve is kind of pushing you and somebody else, that's what you kind of also get from
Think
the team.
about what we do every single Tuesday. We have our team meeting for 45 minutes, and we all kind of speak about any kind of deals that we're having, kind of obstacles we're running into. And I think for newer agents like Chelsea, to hear now some of the issues that maybe some of us are running into on the deals, and then you say, "Oh, this is something that can come up. What is the solution to this problem?" And they're just kind of hearing that, and they're basically going to be able to grow and make sure that maybe if that situation happens to them, they know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Same
for
thing with
sure.
our group chat too. I mean, we could shoot something in there, 2:00 in the morning, and
Yeah, it could be
one
a
of
hike.
us
It
that
could
can
be a
do-
haiku. It could be a
haiku and
It could be a problem.
Shout out to Alex,
Always
by
adds
the way.
something to the team. That's for sure.
Yes.
And I feel like people are a little better, again, I think real estate agents comes off maybe salesperson-y in a sense, but with the team, you could be a little more yourself or kind of learn your own niche, kind of see how things, gearing towards your way, because what might work for you might not work for me and vice versa. So,
Yeah.
And it's true. I just want to go on what you said. It's
But the haikus?
be your no,
Do
not
we
the
have the
haikus.
best haikus in the market?
We do have the best
Zimmerman team,
haikus.
it's true, yeah.
do.
But more about being yourself. When I first got into the industry, I felt like I always had to wear the collared shirt, always had to wear the button down, with the slacks and this and that, and always have to be I'm not going to be perceived like I know what I'm doing, or people aren't going to want to work with me if I wasn't dressed a certain way. And listen, there's a time and a place for wearing professional clothes and suits and all that stuff, but I feel like I'll go on a listing appointment in a polo and jeans. This is who I am. If you don't want to work with me because I'm not wearing a suit, then we're not the right people to work with, and that's fine. I just now be myself. Before I was trying to almost put on a persona of maybe I'm more successful than you look, or whatever the case may be, because it comes across differently. Yeah. And now I feel no, you're just gonna work with somebody who you are. So I feel like you saying just be yourself. That's the number one thing I would tell all new agents. Just be yourself, regardless of the deal, the size of the deal. You said I'll treat somebody the same and dress the same. $1 million house, $500K house, $300K house, it's the same. And I just feel like they get to know you, and if they want to work with you, they're going to work with you.
You have to be knowledgeable, and you have to know what you're saying too. But I mean, if there's somebody sitting down with you, they'll know within the first 10, 15 minutes if you're knowledgeable about your craft, no matter what you're wearing.
Exactly. As soon as you speak,
Yes.
they're going to be like, okay, he could wear a
kid knows what he's
T-shirt
talking
and
about.
and I get everything, or this guy could have a suit on and know absolutely nothing.
I mean, I've had this argument with people, somebody came up to me who I used to work with and be like, "Oh, I wouldn't buy a house from anyone wearing jeans." And I go, "Well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because you could work with somebody who does $1 million deal all the time, wearing jeans. What does that really matter?" Yeah, exactly. To me, the richest people that I know wear sweatpants. So, so that kind of argument I always kind of hated. But, and I also take in a sense with the team is that, people like to go on group dates. So when people go on group dates, they do that because it takes kind of the pressure off of being this somebody that you're not. So a team, again, we could kind of be ourselves. We all could kind of find our own niche. We all kind of bounce off each other. So to me, I think that shows the real persona of somebody as opposed to putting on a face. And people have authentic shit. So
That's definitely something I picked up on right at joining the team. Everybody was very, very real, and everybody had their own thing, and they were.
Well, that's
it's
what
a good group of people.
When we bring, it's all about the camaraderie everybody loves, but you have one bad agent that is doesn't fit the bunch, it kind of ruins it for everybody else. So when everyone says, "Oh, you just bring like anybody into the team." No, we actually like want to make sure like they're a good fit, not just for like Ron and myself, but
Culture.
we want that culture to be across the board. So if you have that one person that doesn't really fit in, like it just doesn't make sense. Like no point to ruin something that is so
That
good.
apple spoils the bunch.
You know, so it's everyone says, "Oh, you just hire everybody," and definitely not. All right, so market is shifting.
It absolutely is.
Rates are going
Fast.
only.
Fast,
And
quickly.
what is your predictions? Where do you see the rate stopping, and where? Like when? Do you see it stopping at 7% in the next couple months? Do you see it going into the 8s? Do you see it staying where it is? What time frame are you thinking? What's happening in your opinion?
A lot of variables to that. I
Much-
mean, the Fed said they're raising rates either 1 to 2 more times this year, and I think 2 to 3 times.
So they said,
2023?
from what I saw, again in July, skipping August, again in September. How much? Who
Again,
knows?
how much does really depend on inflation and where the world is at that point in time.
Any increase is bad, in my opinion. So
Any increase. I mean, they need to raise rates to combat inflation, but I think that they'll probably settle somewhere into the high 6s, maybe 7s. I think over the next 12 months or so. I mean, for them to shoot into even higher than that. I mean, think about where we were in December. We were legitimately in the 3s in December. Where have you ever seen a 5-point
So
increase
quick.
in less than 18
I know.
months? I don't even know historically. I'd love to see the data on
I
that.
think last week was the highest rate hike in a single day in like the
75 basis points.
yeah 75 basis points was like one of the largest rate hikes in one 24-hour day.
I mean, historically, you're going to see prices start to go down a little bit, but as we speak about all the time in our Long Island market, there is no land in Long Island. There's only a finite amount of inventory that's out there. So you're normally going to see prices go down a little bit, but when there's still no supply, and also that move-up buyer that we spoke about so many times, that person who bought 5 years ago, who had that starter home, now thinking about now selling and buying, great, they can sell high and buy high, and now they're rolling in their 3% interest rate mortgage
to a 7?
to 7% mortgage, and saying, you know what, maybe I'm going to
So-
stay for a little bit, maybe I'm going to renovate, maybe I'm going to...
So then on Long Island, how do you combat that? I mean, Florida, you go to Florida, they're building, right? So they're just building more houses, so they're making supply. You can't make supply here. So it's either you sell or they can't buy. So what do you do?
out of state, go out of state if you're going to move anywhere.
Like you just say like, oh,
But that's a lot easier said than done, you know. kind of
Everyone's just
thing.
gonna keep
Yeah,
moving.
what are you
Just
gonna go to
up
North
with your
Virginia?
life, no big
Exactly.
deal.
I'll go to North Dakota. I don't know anyone there. I'll just go to North
buyers,
Dakota. But
buyers are going to be kind of priced out. Like that first-time home buyer is maybe in a $500,000 price point. Now at 7% interest, they're going to have to focus their search further out east or in an area
Yeah,
with
but
a lower
that's
price
another
point.
thing. I
or-
would-
That's that
you
first
know.
time home buyer that was at 4%, looking at 500,000. Now they're at 7. Say they go up to 7%. You're talking $900 extra on their mortgage payment.
significant.
But I
amount.
still think
You
That's
can't even
such a
afford it
But I
anymore.
still think that
Yeah.
people that have the money are still going to buy. Also, I still see the influx of the city moving out here to Long Island. You know, I still see that. I
sure.
still have buyers
Absolutely.
from Queens that
Queens
still
and
want the
Brooklyn all the
yard
time.
and everything
Yeah.
like that. So I still see that. And the city, you know, not going to lie, it's disgusting.
I
so
think more people that have like city jobs, I think more and more the companies are saying we'll work more remote. Like they brought people back and now they're saying, you know what, we could do remote stuff. Maybe they're going to downsize the office if their lease is coming up. Like they'll get a smaller office, downsize, work from home a couple days. You come in Tuesdays and Thursdays. The other people come in like Mondays and Wednesdays, whatever. And more people still coming from the city, but they're coming from the city, so they want to buy, but there's nothing to buy. And the people that live on Long Island, there's nothing to buy either. So it's like, what are you
Where
supposed
do
to
you
do?
go?
Well,
Yeah.
if they're selling from the city, they're cashing out a good amount, and then they have those
'Cause they have
that
the money,
large down
yeah.
payment. They're either
Yeah.
they're selling their 2-family for $1 million in Queens, and
Right,
then they're buying
coming
a house
700,
you know,
yeah.
$600-700 cash. So that's what you're competing. I just think that it's going to continue to those first-time home buyers. It's going to be harder and harder for them, both finding inventory as also just price conscious too. Now you're going to say, you know, maybe I'm going to rent
and
for
inflation,
another
you
year
know.
or two, or maybe you're going to say maybe it's better for me to move out of state.
Yeah.
You know, that first time.
But saying you're going to keep renting, rents are going up faster
They
than,
do,
than
yeah.
the housing
Yeah.
prices are
Yeah.
going up.
it's
Yeah.
true.
You know, one bedrooms are going. You see one bedrooms for
$2,100,
$2,000.
yeah.
Like a one bedroom for $2,000. Are you kidding?
And then people want a house hack, but like everybody wants the house hack. So
Uh-huh.
like those people who even like could fit that price range can't anymore because everyone's trying to do the same thing
It's
as
just
them.
an
So
affordability issue
yeah.
all around and
Yeah.
all aspects of it. And
So is the answer affordable housing on Long Island? Like, do they make affordable housing where like
Well,
people can afford?
you know, the whole
these?
thing where they're trying to what, like say, like they could, you know, split up their lots and make another,
like
put another
California, we
house.
could do like the
Yeah.
ADUs.
Yeah, exactly. Where they're doing that, but that's a whole kind of thing as well.
Now,
And then,
think about how much prices would increase if now you can now have a legal accessory apartment in your house. Now your house is worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People now are going to say,
There
all
you
right,
go.
well, buy that. I can have legal rental income of $2,100 coming in a month for a 1-bedroom.
But it makes more opportunity. It's increases the value, yes.
But can our infrastructure handle?
I
Now
don't know.
everybody's
No.
legally be able to have any
know.
of you? Can our,
Well,
can
think
our
about it.
roads?
They're
Do
just
you
gonna-
want Montauk Highway and Babylon?
Yeah.
You want to ride through there? It
No
takes
way.
15 minutes to go through Main
it's
No
already
Street.
way.
crowded. Yeah, it's already crowded. So.
It's so overpopulated. There's no land. There's more and more people, and eventually,
And I thought no one was working. So where are people getting this money from? I just don't. No one wants to work anymore. Like this, that's another thing too. Where it's
it's true.
Well, it's remote
Yeah.
working. I mean, that's what the pandemic did. It expedited remote work. I mean, that was always here to stay, but now you need that third or fourth bedroom for an office, to convert a garage. You need
Yep.
a basement to turn into something, and there's no place to get that in the borough. So you're going to Westchester, you're going to Long Island, you're going to Connecticut, you're going to Jersey. You draw a circle around New York
Tri-state.
City.
Yeah.
That's exactly where everything's booming right now, and it's going to be very interesting to see where the Long Island market goes. And
I think right now as we speak, it's a little weird. Everyone's a little scared right now, buyers and everything. Also, the people that are looking to get in before the school year, they're starting to miss out as well. So, do you wait a whole other year for the kids to
Yeah.
get in?
It's the sticker shock that they're seeing. The rates, and you hear it in the news every day, and you see the sticker shock, and then they go and say, "Oh, let me update my pre-approval." And they're like, "Yeah, you were pre-approved for $700. Now you're pre-approved for the same mortgage payment, $650." So it's an eye-opening.
And I think, sorry to cut you off, but prices are going down a little bit. How's they're sitting on the market a little bit longer? I remember sitting on the market for a week was like an eternity.
Yep.
Now they're on there for a month, which is not a.
And I'm seeing a lot of back on markets coming.
a lot of
deals that
things
are
have
dying.
fallen through.
People-
Yeah.
It's on,
deals are dying.
listing agents to properly vet out your offers.
Well,
as
they don't.
come
They
in.
just take the highest and best.
Yeah.
They don't even care.
The problem was these people were approved by the skin of their teeth, and now the rates jumping up a little bit. Put instantly, like if they don't pay off $10,000 in credit cards, like they're done.
Or if they're buying points, or are they going to spend $10,000 in points to buy down?
Right.
And I mean, the thing you were saying about the listing agent, about vetting, yeah, I feel like the listing agent got lazy. I mean, we spoke of this before, is that listing agents will make the seller show the house. And I was always like, no, I'm showing the house. That's
My
my
listing,
job.
it's my job.
I think it's lazy to let the seller show the house for you. To me, I think listing agents are like, oh, I'll put it on the market, it'll sell, I don't have to do anything. But now, as a listing agent, you have to sell a little bit. You have to
a little
reach
more
out a little bit. You have to do work.
No one's gonna represent
We're all
that
about
house.
doing the work.
All
here
about
on
doing the
Handler
work.
Zimmerman
No, because
team.
it's yeah,
But no
doing
one's
the
going to
work.
represent the house and know the house better than the one that's representing the house.
Yeah.
So you can't expect that when we do open houses, we always show them around, regardless if they come with an agent, right? Because you know the details more than
Yeah.
the next person. Like they're looking at the detail sheet for 5 minutes maybe as they're walking up to the house. But we know the property, we know the house, we know the things that we want to hit
Know
on.
the area.
You know the
Yeah.
area. So when you're walking around these people, like they know. So when you have showings, the more people know about a house, the better they may feel. Maybe you get another offer. And if you just have them just randomly walk in, here's a sheet, take a look around.
See you when you're done.
Yeah.
What do they really need you for?
Oh, it's sold for over asking. Over asking. Yeah, no crap, because you had 50 people come in just trying to win it. Of course, you didn't do anything. You just showed up. That's
Yeah.
basically what you did. But now I think some people are freaking out a little bit too, is because they're not used to this. The newer agents aren't used to this because they came in such a a crazy market where I know Steve came in like Josh and I were just
Pandemic,
before the pandemic, which
Yeah.
was weird. It's I saw both sides of it and it was like, man. So I started out in 2018. And it was kind of like that was a real, I guess, normal market. Now coming to this, it's like, are we getting back to that? How is that going to be?
It's like
what's
baptism by fire here.
Ugh.
It's like coming in as a new agent into this market.
and it's a lot of you guys too.
Yeah.
Hey, they come into this market
Influx
brand
of
new.
new
It's
agents.
not an easy market to come into.
You'll see in the next year, you're going to see a lot getting shaken up by new agents leaving, or just
There's going to be a lot of people leaving because they're going to realize how hard it's going to get in the next 12 months. I think it's going to get super hard. There's so many agents. There's going to be so many less deals. I think the agents that are newer or don't want to work, they're not even going to renew. And the agents that are doing 10 deals, they're going to realize how hard it is to get 10 deals again, and they're going to do half. And the people that are doing volume and have themselves set up are going to be the people that really take over.
it'll sure be interesting.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Josh Hanlon with the Handler Zimmerman team.
Steve Zappala with the Handler Zimmerman team.
Ryan Rhodes with the Handler Zimmerman team.
Chelsea Haluka with the Handler Zimmerman team.
That's it. Teamwork makes the dream work.